How do you deal with emotional changes due to stress? Do you have emotional outbursts, and do you break out of character like people we see on social media? Why do we enjoy watching people lose it on social media? One video will have 1 million views and 1,000 likes, but in the end, we're making fun of someone's emotional imbalance. The key is not to be amused by someone's distress. We don't know what led to this situation, and we should have empathy to stop watching other people's demise. In this message, I'll answer this question: how do you deal with emotional changes due to stress? I deal with my stress by letting it go. How do you let go of stress? For a long time, my problems were mine to deal with. If I had a problem, I'd work really hard to resolve it by myself. I didn't want to share my problems because I had anxiety about not wanting people to think that I was weak or I was failing to deal with my own challenges. But in reality, people need to know so that they can help you. I'll share this example. Growing up as a boy, you become self-aware. I remember when my friends were learning biology and they got to know certain parts of a female's body. They called me and asked me to tell them where a certain body part was found on a woman. Of course, I didn't know and I winged it, but the ridicule I received was as if they had always known where it was. A simple encounter, which was God innocent to them, had a big impact on my life. The fact that I was afraid to ask someone about it resulted in depression. Unfortunately, something as innocent as not knowing and still keeping quiet can cause a lot of stress. But a few years later, I'll be real about my next point. I started to ask questions on how this and that works, whereby I became knowledgeable and confident when I approached women. Instead of feeling shy to ask important questions, I found it empowering to hear from older people the do's and don'ts which adolescent boys and girls need to learn about. Don't be afraid to ask an older person questions because that's how you learn. How do you deal with emotional changes due to stress? Let it go. As a grown-up, you cannot deal with everything that falls on your lap. For example, if your car is faulty, you go to a mechanic. If your pool is green, you look for a pool person to deal with it. Therefore, if you're feeling overwhelmed and you need help, ask the right person. Nowadays, we see a lot of distress on social media. People's distress is posted for likes and views, which is wrong. Instead of using your emotional intelligence to empathize, we click the like button, and the algorithm recommends more of these videos. You don't know that watching it affects your mind. One day you'll recall it and act out only to find yourself in a lot of trouble. Ask for help and stop absorbing negative information. Conclusion. How do you deal with emotional changes due to stress? Let it go. As a grown-up, you cannot deal with everything that falls on your lap. Approach people and organizations that can help you, and you'll find peace. And that's today's message. If you found value in the content, drop a comment below and share this message.